Welcome back, my friends. It's already episode 354. Time flies. And so did this year. I was looking back at it the other day with a colleague at work, and we were wondering, where did this year go so fast? And yes, as it is coming to an end, I do tend to think a lot about goals. You'll hear that in these episodes that I'm recording. I'm a big fan of goals as they are a commitment to change something. Sure, you can argue that setting a goal doesn't mean anything. I never set goals and thought the same. I never used to set goals and I always thought the same. They were useless. But when I started setting them, I found that I actually accomplished them. It's hard to explain how I did it, because I wrote them down around New Year's in my journal, and then I didn't look at them for most of the year. But when the year came to an end and I reflected on them, I noticed that I actually made it happen. Now, this happens every year. I know roughly what they are, but I don't know the details until I review them. And since I started setting goals, I have made huge progress every year. If we stay the same every year, or only make changes when we feel like it or when they're forced on us, then I think we're not living up to our full potential. You see, people get tripped up by this whole goal-setting thing, as if they are entering a contract and face punishment if they cannot meet their targets. Goals represent a commitment to change, nothing more and nothing less. You acknowledge that the status quo is not sufficient anymore, and you announce that you want to go someplace else. But setting goals offers something even more valuable, and that is reflection. To formulate a goal for yourself, you need to spend time thinking about it. The thinking process is a playing around with the idea of change. It helps you reflect on your existing state and your future state. What do I want? And where do I want to be next year? What is not working? What needs change? And what is missing in my life, and how do I get it? We rarely do this. We rarely take the time to pause and reflect. Sure, thoughts run through our mind all day. I need to stop smoking. I should reduce my alcohol consumption. I wish I could look like that Instagram girl and lose my extra 10 pounds. And I really would love to travel more. And so on. But these are spur-of-the-moment ideas that we rarely act on because they require more thought and usually a plan to execute them. And that is why goals are so valuable. They are the key to doors that are currently closed. Reflecting, planning a change, wishing for more, that's the key that opens the door. And often, that is all that it takes. I think consciously recognizing and writing down your goal, which I also believe is important, plants a seed. And that seed then grows within you. It starts directing your decisions and it helps you see opportunities you didn't notice before. And this is what I've experienced several times in recent years. I realized we don't always know where to start. We recognize the need for change, but we can't figure out how to get there. Today, I want to plant that seed. I simply want to give you a starting point on goals that has worked for me. And I've shared it before, last year in fact, in episode 124, where I offered categories of goals that can help you think about your goals. There were 5 of them: relationships, career, spirituality, fitness or health, you can put them all in one category, abundance and finances, and then travel and adventure. These categories offer a perspective on the major aspects of our life. And stepping back a bit and looking at them separately allows us to reflect on possible changes that are needed in each of these. When I think of change, I think of it in 3 ways. What do I need to start doing that I'm currently not doing? What do I need to stop doing because it's no longer working for me? And what can I improve on to obtain even better results? For example, all relationships usually can use some improvement. Think about the critical ones in your life. What can you do more of to make them better. Maybe you can spend a little bit more time with your children or your elderly parents. Maybe there's a friendship that you have neglected over the years. Or are you missing friends in your life? This was a goal for me this year. Add 2 good friends to my life that support me in my quest for me. And then there are some relationships that may need ending. Friends or a partner that you know are not helping you grow, that drag you down and use up all your energy. Notice that based on this one example I just gave you, my goals are not highly detailed. I don't find it necessary to work out all the steps of how I will reach it. Goal setting is about identifying your intended change. The rest will come together in your daily decisions and how you prioritize them. And we'll talk more about that in upcoming episodes. For me, a goal is simply announcing my intention for the upcoming year. So go through all of the 5 areas as a start and do it now. This thinking process should not wait until December 31st. It's best to start it now so you can sit with whatever you identified for a while and see how it feels. Simply ask yourself, and you can do this in the car on the way to work for the next few mornings. Because sometimes it takes a while to come up with answers. What needs improvement in your health, your career, and your finances? What are you already working on that you could do better? You have a good process in place, but you need to tweak it to see better results. Aside from relationships, this also often applies to our jobs. We can always do better at our daily work. And then there are many of us, I know. We all want to start something new. I am one of them. I always have ideas of new things I want to try. We want to learn how to do something that we currently don't know. It's intriguing. It's inspiring. A language, a skill, maybe a new habit such as exercising or saving more money. Sometimes we just want to do something that we haven't done in a long time, like taking a nice long vacation. Great goal. Write it down under travel and adventure. To stop something often refers to bad habits like smoking or spending too much money or staying up too late every night. I always have something I want to stop. This week, I decided, and I shared this with you in an earlier episode, no more snacks. I realized that every time I allow myself a snack, I don't reach my fitness and weight goals. Snacking are additional calories that A, I didn't need, and B, didn't plan on. And usually, I don't log them either. It's a tough goal, but I'm trying it out. Sometimes we try to figure out ways around something we simply can't let go. But often the best answer is to just let it go completely. So when you're working on your goals and identifying something you want to stop, this very thing that you have, that you're dancing around and trying to make excuses, may come to mind. Put it down. Make it a goal. Stopping something often goes hand in hand with starting something. To stop drinking alcohol can mean that you need to replace that activity with another one, such as meditating or going for a walk instead. It's good to fill the void where the bad habit was with a good one. Catching 2 flies at once. These 5 categories are a great way to organize and think about your goals. I used them in previous years. You don't need a goal in each one, just those that you want to see change in. This year, I will approach goal setting a little differently. This is not something I have yet tried or thought through in detail, but I wanted to share it with you anyway, to give you another option. I plan to list my goals in terms of priority. You can even call them priorities if the word goals makes you uncomfortable. Maybe you want to define what they are and rank them. For me, I know what they are, but I want to be very clear on the next steps for all my priorities, which include, as you know, this podcast. Analyzing priorities can help you gain clarity on how you allocate your time. For example, your number 1 priority in this moment may be the healing from a difficult breakup or a divorce. But when you look at your time, you may find that you are not devoting any of it to this goal. Ranking your priorities for the year can help shift your focus where you want it. Maybe you drop a few of the activities that don't support your priorities. I know this can be hard. For example, I love photography. I have a nice camera, and I would love to just go out every weekend, drive around, and shoot. Yes, I could probably convince myself that the pictures can be used on my website and therefore support my Quest for You objective. But it wouldn't be the best use of my time. Now, if photography was something I wanted to spend more time on and get better at, then yes, it would make sense. And I have tons of things I really want to do. But sometimes we have to put them on the back burner in favor of other, more important objectives. People that have recently launched their own business know this all too well. If you decide to take the priority approach, which, by the way, you can also do with the category approach, you can simply rank the goals in each category by importance. Either way, I don't recommend too many. Just like you don't have endless hours of free time in your day, it would be unrealistic to have 10 priorities. Imagine, just for a minute, 1 free hour per day and decide how you would spend it. This can help you weed out those priorities that may seem important, but you will end up pushing off every time. So my friends, maybe this episode helped you think about your goals in a different way. Maybe it even sparked a few ideas. Give it a try. Think about what change you would like to see in your life. The word goal is intimidating, but don't worry. Think of the door you are opening by identifying change. This should be your focus. And maybe your goal gets accomplished, maybe not. The journey is more important than the outcome. And what matters is that you started. Much love, my friends.